session. And first of all, I just want to let you know and just start you off by letting you know that this is my temporary office. I usually work with the kids downstairs, but that's busy right now. So we're just gonna have our session up here for the meantime, and I hope that's okay with you, okay? Yes, so I'm sorry if you'll hear like anyone or noise or doors being closed. It's just part of the normal office hours, so just apologize for that. I'll have my office next time for our next session, okay? Okay, so how are you? Tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm just going to very quickly pull up my notes, and we can get started from there, okay? Yeah. So how did you hear about us? How did you decide to get started and start your sessions? Yeah. Yes, that's very interesting actually, because we do offer different kinds of services. So depending on what I get to observe today, we can go off of my observations and just a couple questions that I'm going to be asking you, and from there we can see what kind of needs require more attention, okay? So for example, we have different kinds of therapy. We have DBT, we have CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is what I personally specialize in. And we have trauma, we have like PTSD and trauma sessions for people that struggle with that stuff. And you can the cognitive behavioral therapy that I specialize in, we do work with PTSD and disorders and bipolar disorder as well. So, just based on what I get from you today, we can start from there. Okay? If you have any questions, any concerns during any time throughout our session, just make it clear. Just let me know. It's not a big problem for me, okay? Okay. So tell me a little bit about your family history. Now, for today's session, I do want to just notify you that today's session is the first session, and I do have to get those notes in. So the questions are going to be a little bit more personal. So, if there's something you just don't want to talk about, don't feel forced, don't feel obligated to speak upon it, okay? Okay, good. Okay, so tell me about your family history, meaning as in how did you grow up? And what are some things that you experienced growing up that you feel affected you, and tell me how those things affected you. But family history, what are some things you've heard about from your family, from maybe past uncles, or things like that. So you could just okay. Yep. Yep. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. And was that like an everyday thing, like consistently every day? Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. And has your mother ever received any medication for that issue? Okay. For how many years? Okay. For the past, okay. So for the past 13 years, they prescribed her Zoloft, right? Okay. You know, I actually applaud you. It's very good. You seem very like attentive to things, because usually, I ask my patients, I ask my patients, what kind of medication does your mom or your father take? And they just don't know. So it's always good to be aware, Yeah. Yeah. I totally get that. Uh-huh. Okay. Yep. So did you start doing that around like 14, 15 years old? Okay. 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 So, yeah, I totally get that. So, okay, so sorry. I just have sometimes patients will just come into my office and it really scares me because I don't expect it. But I usually have to call the other therapist that's actually working with them, because sometimes they walk out of the office. But okay, so basically, you grew up with your mom and dad, you had a rough childhood, your family expected you to be perfect all the time. You did go through bullying throughout elementary school, and it was every day, it was constant. So that definitely caused you some trauma, some self-esteem issues. Okay, I definitely get that. And some you're quick to defend yourself in that behavior. Your mother has had anxiety most of her life, and you did notify me that she's been prescribed Zoloft, which is an antidepressant, and usually a mood stabilizer, for the past 13 years. And your parents seemed to get a divorce when you were only 15 years old, and you got into a bad drug habit at 15 years old. Now, has anything else that's very traumatic happened to you in your adolescence or like your teenage years? Oh yeah, that's definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, yeah, of course. That's definitely traumatic. Yeah, so I'm just gonna write that down. Now, I just want to make this very clear as of now. this is all confidential. We are not allowed to share this information or any of my notes with anyone else, not even your parents, okay? So this is confidential. And I will have you sign a couple of papers before we leave, just stating about the seriousness of the confidentiality with this session, okay? Okay, so that happened. You witnessed someone. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. Now that I know a little bit more about you, a little bit more about what you went through, do you mind just telling me a little bit of some things that you struggle with, some things that you find that you struggle with? Yep. Sorry about the noise. Yes. Okay, so low self-esteem. And do you find, sorry, there was something right there. Do you find that you get these flashbacks very often about that traumatic event in 2016? Okay. So that's definitely a sign that is definitely a sign of some PTSD. I just wanted to let you know. So I'm just gonna state that here. Okay, and you get lots of like sweating and panic attacks. Now, when you say panic attacks, does that mean like, what does that mean for you? What kind of things? Hyperventilating? Okay. And talk to me about your thoughts. What kind of thoughts do you have about yourself on a day-to-day basis? Okay, so you feel like you're not worth it, you're not good enough. Have you ever been in a relationship before? Okay, yeah, I get that, yeah. So, typically when we go through a lot of stuff in life, it becomes difficult to involve another person and to become vulnerable with them. So I totally get that, and I understand that, and I respect that of you. Okay. And so now I'm going to, so I see that you struggle with these thoughts. Now, you struggle with these low self-esteem thoughts and beliefs. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. Say that you are 50 minutes, like 50 minutes late to school and you have to walk in. What are your thoughts? You were late because you could not find your house keys. So what are your automatic thoughts as you walk into this class? Okay. So what are your automatic thoughts as you walk into your classroom? Yeah. Yes. Okay, so your first thoughts would be, I'm irresponsible, they'll drop me out of the class, and I'm a failure. Okay. So let's go straight into today's content. Okay, so I'm going to go back to your room. 584, okay? Sometimes the patients get lost. Okay. So today, since I do specialize in cognitive behavioral therapy, I think that you are a great fit for this type of therapy. Yeah, so we don't have to switch you up or anything like that. So we'll keep on our weekly sessions. And today I'm going to introduce to you the cognitive model. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, this is the cognitive model. We can learn that typically a situation that happens will influence an automatic thought. Now, these automatic thoughts that we have will influence an emotional reaction, a physiological reaction, and a behavioral reaction. Now, for example, the reason why I asked you about what would you do if you walked into the classroom late, it's to see what you would think automatically, depending on the situation. I want to teach you something today before we leave. Typically, a situation doesn't make us react. It doesn't make us feel bad. It's our perception of the situation. It's our automatic thought. So this is an external trigger, which is the situation happening outside of our mind, outside of us. And the way that we instantly are able to perceive something will influence how we feel, what we do, and how we behave. And so I want to share with you something very, very special. So I want to let you know that cognitive behavioral, one last time. Yes. She just went back to the, okay, good. Right. So I would like to start you off in this first session by letting you know that none of what happened is your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. And you have to believe that. But don't you worry, we're gonna work on it so that you can have a more positive and true perspective and core belief system. But since you are going to be taking this CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy session with me every week on Thursdays at 4:30 right here at the Commons, I want to let you know that the cognitive model is something we're going to put into practice. Cognitive behavioral therapy is based on the cognitive model of psychology, okay? Which hypothesizes or lets us know that our emotions, our body responses, and our behaviors are influenced by the perception of events. Did you understand that? Okay, good. And so situations is not what determines how people feel or what they do. Rather, it's how they perceive them. So let's put this into practice. Okay. So let me okay. So according to the cognitive model, for every situation in life, we're going to have an automatic thought. And automatic thoughts are powerful. They're powerful because the manner in which we interpret whatever situation is going on drives how we are able to react to that situation. For example, let's say a dog starts running towards you. You're sitting down on the street and a dog starts running towards you, you're gonna have an automatic thought. If your automatic thought is, oh my God, I'm so scared, this dog is running to me, this is the scariest thing, you're gonna get up and you're gonna run. You are going to run. And you're gonna say, this dog wants to bite me. You're gonna get up and you're gonna run for your life. But what is the dog going to do in its natural way? It's going to chase after you, because if you run from a dog, we all know that a dog will start chasing you back. And so the dog chasing you now is going to confirm the automatic thought that you had that the dog wants to bite you. But in reality, the dog just wanted to play with you and say hi. So that goes to show how when we have an automatic thought, it's going to influence what we instantly do. And what we do is going to either improve our thought process and our life and our decisions, or it's either going to deplete our life and our decisions. It's going to make it worse because we're just so living by the negative, okay? So therefore, if the dog is running to you, and automatic thought that you have is, the dog is so cute, I want to pet it. The dog is going to go up to you, you're going to pet it, and you're going to feel calm. You are going to have a happy emotion, and you're going to smile, which is basically your physiological sensation. And you're going to have a good emotional reaction. And your behavior is going to be positive, because you're going to approach the dog and just pet it and pet it and pet it. So today's lesson is all about the cognitive model, about how a situation influences an automatic thought, which influences an